You want Stephon Gilmore? You want Micah Parsons back? Or Fred Warner? We got the NFL draft comps that I'm absolutely in love with. We're inside the Star, and we're going to be talking about insiders coming up at 6:40 with the Mike Vrabel story that Atolo is already asking about, and I saw Pepe respond to on the Franklin Franco text line. I cannot wait. The Mike Vrabel scandal at 6:40. Emmett Smith sits down with us at 7:20. Sean Sharif, RJ Choppy, and insider Bobby Belts.
Forgot my name?
No, I was trying to stress insider.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing my joke still.
Okay.
Roberto, update us on the latest Cowboy visits.
All right, so Nick Harris had the latest updates here. The Cowboys spent the last pair of weekends they've hosted over a dozen draft prospects to the facility, getting them poked, prodded, having them do whiteboard stuff, various things just to kind of get to know these players. And as it stands now, there are 17 visits on this list, and the Cowboys
There's supposed to be 30?
Yeah, they'll get to the rest of them throughout the next weekend or so.
How many times I wonder the teams never used all 30? That would drive me crazy if they did.
I think sometimes like the furthest you could go, like I've seen some times where teams like 29 of 30, but I think in a lot of instances they used that 30th and they just didn't get reported. So it was like when they snuck in.
And I wonder how often a team takes someone. Haven't the Cowboys done this a couple times? They drafted someone they didn't visit with to throw everyone off the scent.
Sometimes that's not used as much. It's been they've been quiet about their interactions with somebody, but generally they don't try to just completely avoid a player. The only time they'll avoid a player is just they're comfortable with who they are. They've gotten this or that all figured out, but generally, I remember I asked somebody about that at one point. I was like, wouldn't it make sense to do this and kind of throw teams off if they look at your 30 visit list? And they were like, there's 250 players that are going to get drafted or whatever, and we get to visit 30 of them. That's too few opportunities for us to play with them. Like, we got to know who these guys are. And so this is what they've got so far. They've got 17 players that they've visited. Ohio State linebacker Arvell Reese, Texas Tech defensive end David Bailey. Those are the two that stand out for. Those don't seem like those would be in your range. Ohio State linebacker Sonny Styles, Ohio State safety Caleb Downs, LSU cornerback Mansour Delane, Indiana wide receiver Omar Cooper, Toledo safety Emmanuel McNeil Warren, Arizona defensive back Trey Dan Stukes, Miami cornerback Keontae Scott, Missouri linebacker Josiah Trotter, USC safety Kamari Ramsey, Texas Tech defensive end Romello Height, Central Florida defensive end Nigel Kelly, and Louisville defensive tackle Renee Conga. And so if you'll notice out of those 17, and they've added to that also at the very tail end here, Brandon Cisse, cornerback from South Carolina, and Texas A&M defensive end Cassius Halp. But if you'll notice from that entire list, there is one offensive player, so it's all defense. Mm-hmm. But there's a clear focus on the defensive side of the ball here, and I don't know why Omar Cooper is the one offensive player that they visited, a guy who's projected to go in the mid to late first round as a receiver. But there is no Jermod McCoy on this list. There is no Reuben Bain on this list yet.
And the noise is starting to pick up. I saw Nick Harris as well in his latest mailbag basically say the Cowboys are not interested in Jermod McCoy. I don't know if he was saying 20, but I think he was saying first round basically. First round, Jermod McCoy, not happening. That is what I am 95% believing heading into this. I know you had a little problem with that yesterday.
It seems I mean, my issue with that is, you know, it's like we're just obviously hasn't played, so we don't know. To me, the draft is a risk anyway, right?
So you're gonna add more risk.
I don't consider injuries to be a risk necessarily. It's 2026. Like I just look at it like
Did you think Jalen Smith was a risk?
I don't remember. I mean,
what do you mean you don't remember?
He had nerve. Like he had drop foot. That was different. If I hear the same thing about this, that he's got
which I don't think he does.
Damage and drop foot,
which I don't think he does. But clearly, there's like a line for you with injuries at some point.
Like something like that. Yeah, that would be different.
So if let's say he fell to the second round as like the no doubt most talented corner in the draft, when corner is such a premium position, wouldn't that signal to you like it must not be good if all of them are passing?
If Fernando Mendoza was coming off had Tommy John surgery, I still would draft the number one. If he had rotator cuff surgery and it was Chad Pennington's arm, I would say probably not.
I don't think I could. I mean, if I guess it would depend on what doctors looked at and they said what they had to say about it.
Do you think McCoy and Bain will end up on their visit list?
I think so. I'm really surprised.
Have you heard anything about them with Bain?
About what they feel about him?
Yeah.
I think they like him.
Okay.
And so that's one of the things that's a little bit, because I think there's stuff that they'd want to sit down and talk to him about, but they've got 13 more visits. Just because they haven't visited with him yet doesn't mean they haven't, or that they're not going to.
Fernando Mendoza is not going to be attending the NFL draft, so you will not be getting the pictures and the video of the bro hug with the commissioner. RJ, you have a little bit of an issue with this, like Drake Toll?
It's not an issue. I kind of hate it. I don't love it. I don't have an issue with it because I get there's extenuating circumstances.
With his mom
having MS and being in a wheelchair, and
3-hour flight from Miami to Pittsburgh. So 6 hours on a plane for mom probably isn't great.
To me, like the draft, like the handshake is special. Like the number one picks have said, like that's one of the things there. That maybe the thing they remember about draft night is like greeting the commissioner. That's a cool moment for the player that he'll probably never forget. For the fans, but like I get it, right? I mean, you got issues at home. You have health issues at home because he wouldn't be the first number one pick. I had to go back and look. I forgot that Trevor Lawrence skipped. That wasn't COVID, I don't think, but I forgot that he had skipped the draft when he did, and he was just having a party. And now everyone's got their own camera setups. They all have their own social media teams.
Yeah,
they all have their own marketing. They want to own the marketing. I just hope, and Fernando's not the kind of guy that he'll love being with his family anyway. But, do you look back at 10 years, you're like, should have gone to the draft.
Yeah, I don't care whatsoever. First off, I'm not going to say anything negative about my godson or my son-in-law to be. Hopefully, one day. I don't care about the age difference. But, no, man, Fernando can do whatever he wants. I'm good.
Trying to see who else. So it's been Trevor Lawrence. Myles Garrett skipped the draft as the number one pick. Baker Mayfield skipped the draft as the number one pick.
See, you don't even remember.
I don't remember now.
I think Trayvon Walker skipped.
Well, that's because nobody expected him to be number one.
Baker
skipped because he was remaking the Favre video.
Baker skipped the draft, and it was in Texas where he lives. So it was in Arlington, and he skipped.
ESPN, and you don't care, Bobby?
No, especially who it is and everything we've learned about it, like any question of is this ego or are you just thinking you're bigger than the guy? Like it's any sort of slight question that might exist with that, you throw out the door and you remember, oh yeah, it's Fernando Mendoza. And that's not anything like what he is.
Yeah, no, I didn't think ego at all. The first thing I thought of was okay, does he put family ahead of football? And some idiot football guy's going to have a problem.
Well, Drake Toll's going to win on Friday. I can tell you when I play the audio.
What was his issue?
I genuinely still can't figure it out. Just he's like, some things are bigger than you. Okay? I don't think he's being ego-driven about it, but he's being overly analytical. I don't care that you don't like the spotlight. Your life is the spotlight now.
He's getting roasted.
Should have stayed in that 400-person Arkansas town.
He's getting roasted on the fan text. Okay, ESPN with NFL draft comps. I absolutely love these. Are they unfair? Yeah, probably.
Of course they are.
But I think you should do comps to try to project. I'll just rip some off. Y'all stop and start wherever you want. Keldrick Falk to Cam Jordan. Jordan Tyson to Jerry Jeudy. Omar Cooper to Rashee Rice.
I don't have Jeudy as the comp. Now, some people don't see the ones that I do, but when I watch Jordan Tyson play, when he's healthy, he looks like Malik Neighbors to me.
Oh, well, that's good.
Oh, wow.
Arvell Reese to Micah Parsons.
Wow, does Arvell disappear in big games?
This is through the prism of Parsons as a prospect in 2021. At 6'3", 246, Parsons ran a 4.36 40 at his pro day. He flashed elite pass rush skills, 6.5 career sacks at Penn State. Remember that, y'all. 6.5 career stats. When we were arguing with Brad Sham and others over him just being strictly a linebacker. Props to the Cowboys for turning him into a pass rusher. 6'4", 241 for Reese. Ran a 4.46 at the combine. Has also flashed an elite finish in pass rush, 7 career sacks. Like Parsons, some teams might give both elements a long look for Reese, but the Ohio State defender won't be 21 until August, and the possibilities are intriguing. Rice might be the best pure prospect in this class.
Wow, yeah, did not have a single sack in the last 6 games, including Michigan, Indiana, and Miami.
John Oning has been very John Oning has hit the brakes significantly on, like, he likes Reese, but he's like, do not think this is some like there's some concern about the way he finished the season as a pass rusher. And he was asked to pass rush a lot more than Micah was in college. Micah blitzed generally, but I think Jeff Legwold's forgetting that a little bit in terms of, like, oh, teams thought of Micah as both ways. They really didn't. They thought of Micah as a linebacker, but that's a good comp if you just think of who he was as a prospect entering the draft.
Lewis Riddick compares Kyle Lewis to Derek Brooks.
Okay. I love Kyle Lewis as a prospect. I would not have compared him to Derek Brooks, and if you're comparing him to Derek Brooks, I feel like Lewis Riddick should have him in the top 15.
Yeah, what round is he projected from Pitt?
Second. He to me is a really nice fit for some of the modern NFL stuff because he's considered a hybrid safety linebacker, and I think he's a really strong player.
Matt Bowen compares Chris Bell to A.J. Brown, also Sonny Styles to Fred Warner. Woo!
That's strong. If you can add Fred Warner to this defense, I would take it. Circling back at the very top on the one that you said, Keldrick Falk to Cameron Jordan, there's a lot of hate for Keldrick Falk right now. I do wonder if they were to get truly wiped out at 12, like they were to just lose out on other guys, if that would be their, all right, well, we're sitting here, let's make this pick.
Choppy, you will be pleased to hear Fernando Mendoza to Matt Ryan, that from Mike Tannenbaum.
I like Matt Ryan. I like the Kirk Goff comp better. But Matt, the Raiders fall into something nice if you'll take Matt Ryan.
Mina Kimes says Jermod McCoy to Stephon Gilmore. Watch McCoy's 2024 tape, and you'll see many of the qualities that made Gilmore an elite man corner in New England. Size, physicality at the line of scrimmage, fluid footwork, and recovery speed. Time will tell if his ball skills are comparable, but the Tennessee standout recorded 4 picks that season and was consistently in position to make plays. Reuben Bain to Brandon Graham.
So I've heard Bain and Graham before. I don't remember that. I didn't study Graham when he was coming out, but I guess I can see it with just the build, how it looks similar. But again, it's really tough to comp Bain to anybody because he is different than anything we've seen.
T-Rex.
We just have not seen anybody with his profile in the NFL before. And so it's tough to say, yeah, he's like this guy.
McCoy, Gilmore, that sounds awesome.
Yep. Gilmore's knees worked.
If he could actually be out there on the field. Inside the Star on your official home of the Cowboys with the Path to the Draft brought to you by Pluckers, just a couple weeks away.
All right, so you get, let's just take injuries out of this. You get the next 10 years. Do you want Fred Warner, Stephon Gilmore, Micah, or Brandon Graham?
Micah.
Yeah, Micah.
And then it's either Warner or Gilmore.
It'd be Warner to me over Gilmore, I think.
Like Gilmore because of position. I'm like Fred's Warner.
Great.
I'm in love with
Fred
great. Warner. I love him too much. I hate that he's on San Fran.
No, I think if you could put a Warner in your defense, I think that just settles so many. All right, just let's focus on other things.